Hey, how's it going, guys? And here, and today is going to be the 8th video of the series How to Make Your Own Strategy. Before to start, I want to thank each one of you because I just reached 5,000 subscribers, and for a 2-month-old channel is a terrific result. I want to particularly thank Panji, Maria, El Padrino, Ibrahim, and Yana because these people are following me since day one pretty much, and they really gave me good satisfaction because I could see their journey and I could see them improving themselves. This was really helpful for me to have a kind of motivation to keep doing this. And of course, if this is the first time you on this channel, please subscribe, click on the bell icon to receive notifications about my future videos. And if you want to receive free Telegram signals, just check for the description down below, and in there you will find a link to my Telegram channel. Alright, so we can get started with today's video. Today, we will be talking about the morning star pattern. So last time, we talked about the evening star pattern, and this is pretty much the opposite. So, for instance, if you think about the hammer, the opposite is going to be the shooting star, or for the engulfing, it could be the bearish engulfing, and then the bullish engulfing. So this is pretty much the opposite of the evening star formation. Now, let's look for the rules of this formation. Again, we are going to look for a new pattern with 3 different candles. So 3 candles are required. And the first one this time is going to be a bearish candle. The reason for that is because we are actually looking for a downtrend or a bearish pullback. So bearish pullback going down, this pattern, and then the potential reversal for bullish. All right. So the first candle needs to have a lot of volume and needs to be a big candle because we want to have from the market a good sign that traders are pushing down the price. So this is why really we want to see this big red candle. Next, what we want to see ideally would be a gap down between candle number 1 and candle number 2. Now, last video I actually may confuse some people because this is something you would like to see and that would improve the success rate of this particular pattern. However, if this is not going to happen, because in Forex, in stock, this is not something that happens very often, then even if there's no gap, it's gonna be fine. But if there is a gap, it's better. Now, let's talk about the second candle. The second candle is going to be called a star. And this candle pretty much has mainly 2 rules. The first one is about the body itself. So, when I talk about the body, I'm talking about the space between the open and the close. So for instance, if this was a bearish candle, the open was here and the close was here. So this is the real body of the candle. So this is the first rule. You want to have a very small body. So the smaller is going to be the body of the star, the better it's going to be. And the second thing you need to take care of is about the shadow, because in this candle, you don't care about the shadow. So if you have a very long shadow, for instance, starting from here, going all the way up here, or starting from here and going all the way down to here, it doesn't matter. So you don't have to think about the shadow as something that could be good or bad, because in fact, this is a star candle. So if you think about a star, you can think about the shooting star or the hammer, because there's this kind of formation are star formation. So for instance, let's say that you would see here an inverted hammer or maybe a hammer, then it would be a good sign for you to take the trade, because of course you have the morning star pattern formation, and on top on the star, it's not just the star, but it's maybe another formation. So keep this in mind, because the shadow is not going to be a problem for you. And afterwards, what you want to see is a gap between the second and third candle. Now, again, this is something ideal, but if it's not going to happen, because this is not going to happen every time, it's alright. And the last candle is going to be a bullish candle, so you want to have a green candle. Now, I would say that the minimum, the size of this candle has to be at least 50% or more, but 2/3 is going to be actually good. So from 2/3 or more, let's say, right? And this is about penetration, because let's say that this candle here was going to gap down, okay? I told you that the gap is something that will help, but if there's no gap, it's fine. So, but let's say that this candle was going to gap down compared to this candle was starting in here, then the candle number 3, if would not gap up, would start in here. Does make sense, right? So what you want to see at this point is this candle here to reach at least this kind of level. So you want to have the third candle to penetrate the space of candle number 1 by at least 2/3, all right? If it's going to be more, it's going to be even better, because this kind of pattern is about giving us signals that bears are not in control, now bulls are in control. So if the candle number 3 is going to have even a stronger penetration, or even is going even to engulf the candle number 1, is going to be even better. Right, so let's talk about some valid formation of this particular pattern. Now, the first one here is going to be pretty much like the one we just saw, because there is a gap between the first one and the second one, and there is a gap between the second one and the third one, and you can see that the first red candle was a big one, and then the star is a small one, and then the last candle is going to be a green candle, pretty much 2/3 of the first candle. So that's fine. And the second example here, it's like the first one, but in this case you're going to see that the star is going to be green, and this is another factor, because the actual color of the star is not important. However, I would say that if the star is going to be green, it's going to be a better sign, because you are looking for a reversal from bearish to bullish. So if this candle is going to be green, in my opinion, it's going to be better. Now, this is the example that I actually told you about in the first slide here, that I told you that a gap is something that it can help the success rates of the pattern. But however, you can see that in here we don't have any kind of gap, and that's okay. Ideally, you want to see something like this or something like the first one, but if you don't have any gap, it's gonna be alright. What is important is that the first candle is going to be a very big body and it's going to be bearish. The second one has to be a star. The smaller the body, the better. And the third candle has to, let's say, penetrate the space of the first candle by 2/3. All right, and this is what is happening in here. Now, in the last formation of valid example, you can see that, for instance, in here, the second candle is going to be a kind of star with a very big shadow. Now, this is not going to be important, because I told you that shadow, the length of the shadow in the candle, in the star candle, is not going to be a problem. And the last candle, so the bullish candle, is going to be a very big candle, and in fact is going to engulf the first candle. So this is even a stronger sign that this pattern might work and might reverse the market. So those are 4 examples of valid morning star formation. All right, now let's look for what is not. So in the first example here, in my opinion, is not, because you're gonna see that the star, it's pretty much half of the size of the first candle, and it's too big. You want to have a very small star. In fact, the smaller is the better. Now, in the second example, the problem is going to be about the last candle, because you're going to see that the green candle is very small. In fact, it's even smaller than the star, and that's not what you want to look for, because you want this candle at least to be 2/3 of the first candle here. And in the last example, the problem is going to be the first red candle, because it's too small, and you want to have a very sign that the market is trying to push down, because this is about the psychology of the pattern. So we want to have a sign that the market is really trying to push down. So pushing down, right? Pushing down, then you're gonna see the star. And what the star is actually telling us is that even though the previous candle was pushing down, this new star now is actually bouncing here. It's not letting bears anymore to go further down, and is holding the price in this kind of area, and afterwards the last candle is going to push up the price, telling us that now bulls are in control and bears are lost kind of all their power in the market. So this is actually the psychology behind this pattern, and this is why each candle here, so the first one, second one, and third one, are very important. So you want to make sure the first one has a lot of volume and a strong of bear powers pushing down. The second candle, which is the star, needs to hold the price, and the third candle needs to push up, telling us that now bulls are in control. Alright, so let's see where we need to look for this particular pattern in order to trade. Now we have two different options. The first one would be the trend reversal option, which would be to spot a downtrend, then the pattern, and then the reverse for an uptrend. And this is the first option. The second option would be to look for an uptrend, and then every time the price is going to make pullbacks, we need to look for this kind of information to determine that the trend, the actual pullback, is going to be over, and then it's going to keep going with the direction of the trend. So this would be ideal for binary option traders and for scalpers traders, so for forex scalping trading. And for instance, in this slide, you can see that there is a solid uptrend, and then in this area here, it's going to reach the peak of this higher high, and then it's going to create a pullback going down. And in this area here, where you can see the red rectangle, here's the potential spots where you can find this formation. Now, if you're gonna see here this formation, you might have an idea that the pullback is over and you can start the trade for higher. Now, remember that a pattern is only a pattern, and you want to have some other confirmation coming from some different sources, for instance, the support or resistance level or other indicators. So the pattern itself is going to be a strong warning that maybe something's going to happen, but then, as always, don't trade based on a pattern. Try to get as many information as possible from different source of information. For instance, I just told you, support, resistance, or maybe indicator. So this is how you want to trade and where you want to trade. Last thing to check is going to be about supports and resistance, because this is very important. Now, in the first picture, you're going to see that the price is being pushed down, and then it's going to reach the support level, and then after reaching the support level, the new star is being created. So this is the star, and after the star, we're going to have our bullish confirmation that now bulls are in control of the market. So this is what you want to look ideally, because we know that the support has been reached, the support worked, and the price was pushed up. And in this case, you would have a very good opportunity to enter the market. But in this one here, in fact, it's going to be the opposite, because you're going to see that the price managed to break through the support, and then after breaking the support, the new star was being created, and then you're going to see in here that the bulls are pushing up. But now here's the thing, we just broke the support, and the support becomes a resistance. Now, if in this candle here is going to reach the resistance level, it might push the price down. So it's going to pretty much doing the opposite what happened in here, right? So this is why you don't want to trade this kind of pattern if you're too close to resistance, or maybe if you just broke a support becoming a resistance. And this is very important, because support and resistance, trading with the trend, are the basic of technical analysis. So this is it for today's video. Once again, thank each one of you for the 5,000 subscribers, and I will see you guys in the next video. Okay guys, so thanks for watching. Make sure to click the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and make sure to subscribe. And I will see you guys to the next video. Bye.